Good evening, everyone, and welcome to BSRTV for this rounds 34, 35 and 36 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship presented by Engine Oils Direct. This is the Pro Series. This is the year-long competition to find out who's going to be the best and who's going to take home a share of $10,000. Andrew Woodhouse with Alex Simpson and Adam Bath. And Adam, I'll bring you in first of all. Wojciech Savidovic had another great meeting last week at Motegi. He'll be looking to consolidate that advantage this evening.
Yeah, and this week he won't have a back of the grid penalty like he did at Twin Ring Motegi, so he's got his advantage back and he seems to be in a commanding position in the championship, 388 points ahead of Andreas Katz. Teddy Chepelevsky is in third in the standings with Jamie Rushworth in fourth, David Baker in fifth, Alex Smolensky in sixth. John Roberts is leading the Pro-Am standings, he's in seventh, Lee Thompson in eighth, Simon Field in ninth, tied with Ellis Stevens, in fact, both of them on 1,966 points. And then in 10th or 11th, it is Paul Smith in the Volatile Element car. Road Atlanta, we're here tonight in America, of course, back in America after going to Japan. And I think this is the first time we're racing here in the series, and quite an undulating racetrack.
Yeah, indeed, it's very technical. Alex Simpson, World Championship driver, he got a good finish in the last round of the weekend, mate. And what do you make of Road Atlanta?
Yeah, pretty happy with that finish. Need some more of that if we're going to make it come the end of the season. So yeah, fingers crossed for Motegi. Road Atlanta, I have to say, I'm torn between this track. I used to absolutely detest it, and I've done a couple of races here in recent sort of seasons. The World Cup. And then we all know how that ended, but we won't go there. And and then in the Dallara DW12, I had some fantastic battles around here, and really has changed my opinion on this track. And it's such a good track for racing. Good couple of opportunities to overtake, and you can defend and attack on either line going into that hairpin. And yeah, very complex track. You can set it up to have high downforce, be really quick through the first couple of sectors, or you can go for a lower downforce set and be really fast down that back straight. So I think we're going to see a very mixed up grid with people using slightly different wing settings on the back there, just depending where they want the car to feel comfortable, whether it be down the back straight nice and fast, or nice and safe through the corners.
That first section more resembles slalom skiing than motor racing, Adam. And we mentioned Savidovic. You know, he does have that lead. He's qualified. We say only down in sixth. I mean, that is sort of an only for him. You think, is he going to go for consistency from here on out? I mean, there is still a long way to go. Is he still going to be fighting for the wins? Do you think?
Yeah,
all the way through.
We're only really at the 1/3 mark of the championship. 30 races in for the Drivers' Championship anyway, out of 96 races. Yeah, he can be going for the consistency, of course, but he does want to pick up those podium credits, which are all important when almost the chase format starts all the way in October. So he can't really afford to be lounging around outside the top 10 on a regular basis, but I'm sure he's not going to do that tonight. So even though he might be starting in sixth at the moment, I'm expecting him to be up inside the top 3 at some point tonight.
Yeah, a couple of new drivers to the series as well. William Pritchard has joined Team Carnage. He's qualified last out of the meant to set a time, but I'm sure that's going to improve with experience. And James Nash is in the Apex Racing TV car for this one. Alex, good to have Nashy back.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Nash for 3 years or so, kicking around on the sim, so it's great to see him back. And he was obviously inspired by last week's broadcast and thought, you know what, I'll jump straight into the craziest league on the service right now. Yes. So talk about back with a bump. It's going to be good fun to see how he gets on.
Well, he was a lot quicker in warm up and practice, wasn't he, than he was in qualifying. So we expect him to move a little bit further forward. And this one, you can tell actually it's a new track, Adam. It seems like the grid's mixed up a tiny bit from what it normally is.
Yeah, we saw something similar happen at Motegi, and once again we're seeing it at Road Atlanta, another new racetrack to the series. And once again, having all these new racetracks on the calendar is always throwing up surprises. Look at Finneson last time out at Motegi.
Yeah, and we've got to mention, Alex, how great Motegi was as a meeting in general. Very clean, very exciting, a lot of heart in the mouth action, but a lot of great racing.
Yeah, we had some great battles there, like real sort of, crossed the line, super close into the wall at the end, bows. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's just, I think I just hope we see something like that again here. I mean, certainly the racetrack's got the option to give us that kind of racing. So first race I expect to be really close. It always is. It just depends how those reverse grids are going to pan out tonight, I think.
Got a little bit of time as we're in qualifying 2 at the moment. Just seeing the guys, the top 15 go out, set there, see if they can improve on their original lap times. Adam, can you take us through the Teams Championship? I mean, we've got obviously a couple of teams who've had very, very good starts to this Pro Series.
Yeah, of course. The Teams Championship looks like this. Engineers Direct out in front by 482 points over GT Omega in second place. Volatile Element, the usually consistent team with the likes of David Baker on board, they're in third place. Then in fourth place is the Power Max team, the likes of Jamie Rushworth, Ella Stevens, Laura Bond. They've had the occasional good finish so far this season. They'll be hoping to go one step further and close that gap to Volatile Element. They're in fourth. Pneumo Media in fifth. With Oculus 360 in 6th place, and with Andreas Katz driving for them, you'd expect them to be a bit higher up than that. 7th place Apex Racing TV. They haven't had the luck go their way this season. They always seem to be involved in one crash or another, and it always seems to affect one of the drivers. Maybe that's either Sebastian Job or Lee Thompson, so hopefully their luck changes. And in 8th place it is Laser Tools, with Oven Gleam Racing in 9th place. Alex Smolensky taking a race victory a few weeks ago at Okayama, and Mike Vinison putting on a star performance at Twin Ring Motegi a week ago. And then in 10th place it is Team Carnage, a bit off their form from last season. So that is your Teams Championship, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Adam. Just give a quick shout out to Chaz and Tom from Limit Squad. They're watching for the first time as well on YouTube. Welcome, boys. Any questions, fire them over to us. We'll try and get them answered. If you have any queries at all about this great championship. Alex, are you excited for Road Atlanta then? What's the thing we're going to have to look out for here? Is actually Savinovic has gone up into pole position.
Yeah, awesome time, 0.1, so knocks Job off by 1/10 of a second there, so still very, very close, and time left. Doesn't look like Job's out on track, so I don't know if he felt like he was safe or that was just as good as he's going to get, but he hasn't responded, so stays in the pits.
Yeah, we've just got we had a couple of guys actually, Dan Blake, Martin Brandon, not actually taking part in qualifying at all. Lee Berridge, Jay Wright, they didn't do a lap either, get a clean lap in. We'll go back to front. Pritchard 32nd, Von Glan 31st, Richardson 30th. And then it's Robert Graham, Stefan Hoog all the way down in 28th place. That's a shocker. Damien Harrison in 27th. Ashley Blakewood in 26th. John Roberts 25th. 7th in the championship, Roberts. Never a great qualifier, always a better race driver than that. Andrew Whitehead, former race winner, 24th. Stelian Chepelevsky, 3rd in the championship. And down in 23rd on the grid, Robert Plumley, always entertaining, 22nd. Paul Smith, our Race Spot broadcast colleague, 21st. Ellie Stevens in the top 10 in the championship, but outside of the top 10 here, 20th for him. Laura Bond, 19th. Steve Walker, 18th. James Nash returning to iRacing in 17th. Yulian Janowski in 16th. Then Russell Laidler in 15th. Jeroen Kaiser, 14th, one of the league admins. Pete Newman for Pete Newman Media in 13th. Then it's Stephen Burke. And then it's Daniel Kraft in 11th. Lee Thompson 10th. Then it's Simon Field, Steve Hefford, Alex Smolensky in 7th. Always one to look out for here. Jamie Rushworth, former champion in 6th. David Baker, another former champion in 5th. Dan Hunt 4th. Andreas Katz, who's the reigning champion, in 3rd. Sebastian Job in 2nd, who is a phenomenal talent. I'll speak about that in a second. And Wojciech Savinovic, championship leader up there. Alex, I've got to talk about Sebastian Job for a little bit. He is one of the youngest drivers he's the youngest driver in this league. He's one of the youngest drivers on iRacing. And in the World Championship, he's been putting in some phenomenal qualifying times.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week at Silverstone, 3rd place on the grid, and that wasn't even a very particularly quick lap time for him. So I was a little bit with nerves, does our Sebastian, and I think once he gets those cracked, I think he's going to be a serious competitor in that series as well. Just 15 years old as well, recently turned, so very young.
Ridiculous.
Lots of time to mature. Expect to see him in the recent or the soon future, I think it will be. He's going to be fighting up the front with the likes of Gregor and Hugo for sure.
I do have a quick question, Adam, for you, just quickly. Who would, we've got a question coming in from one of the viewers. Who would you put money on the new track to the series? Who would you say is adept at getting used to the new surroundings?
Who's usually the quickest driver to
pick
get
it up?
on it?
Yeah.
I'd have to say it's Wojciech Savidovic, it looks like, because he's gone onto pole position at Twin Ring Motegi a week ago. We didn't actually see him set a qualifying time, but he was definitely on the pace in all 3 races, having to fight his way back through from last place, and then in race 2 he was able to pull away, and then in race 3 once again he managed to get his way to the front on the final lap or so. So I think really we can see there he's probably the best at adapting to a new racetrack, and of course he races in loads of other leagues as well, so it's hard to juggle all the different kind of handling the way the cars handle. He races in the Skip Barbers on a Monday night, very hard to handle those cars, and then races in very heavy Kia Optima on a Thursday night. So that just shows you how good he is at adapting to a new racetrack and a new car.
It seems like he's second to none here in this league at the moment. It's up for everyone else to catch up. Just got a minute before we go to the grid. Alex, do you think this track will suit David Baker and some of the other really smooth drivers in the series?
Yeah, from what I've heard, tyres are wearing out quite a bit towards the end of the stint, so those that can keep those fronts in check, I'm sure, are going to be quite quick. So Baker, yeah, definitely comes to mind. Very smooth driver out there as well, and I would also put people like Rushworth in with a shout here as well. I mean, pretty high up on the grid as well, but another driver who's very, very smooth and kind on his tyres, so maybe watch for Jamie coming through towards the end of the race. What
we have seen in previous rounds is, Sebastian and some of the others being very, very fast over a single lap, and they are quite hard on their tyres. Let's have a look at the track temperature. Track temperature 42 degrees, Adam. That's pretty high, isn't it?
Very high, especially if that's in... Yeah, that is in centigrade. So, I think tyres are going to be a bit of a factor, and the track temperature is that high. And especially these corners as well. Quite long radius corners, especially at the beginning, a bit like the Degner curves. Not the Degner curves, the Craner curves at Donington Park. And then the 90-degree right-handers before we head down the long back straight, and then hard on the brakes into that final twisty chicane at the end of the lap.
That's an overtaking place, isn't it?
Most likely, yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see how these cars are set up, because very long back straight and going into that corner could be some slipstreaming, a bit like Montreal.
Yeah, and you've really got to get your brake balance right, Alex, down the hill there. Some drivers starting on the corner, Alex.
Yeah, it's never easy here at Road Atlanta, and I think these keys won't be too bad getting away there. So
the guys at the back will be great. They're on a downhill slope. Look,
yeah, gives them a little jump, doesn't it?
That's great. William Pritchard will be loving that. He's at the back. Martin Brandon's at the very back, actually. Team Carnage, but it's all eyes on the front of the field very, very shortly. We are just a few seconds away. Getting round 34 underway. Sorry, Adam.
Just a quick note, Savidovic usually isn't the best away from the line. I remember back at Brands Hatch at the start of the season, he ended up dropping a few places. So watch out for Sebastian Job when the lights go green.
I believe at Silverstone once he was falling back a little at the start as well. Andreas Katz usually gets away well, but we'll see that.
Few drivers not made it to the grid yet, and Savidovic is one of them. I'm sure he's going to pop in right at the last minute. There he is. Just wanted to keep us on our toes.
And Wojciech does actually get his skates on now. So the revs are rising here at Road Atlanta. 36 Kia Optimus.
Green, green, green.
And the green light is on, and Savidovic again, he bogs down a little bit. Adam and Job has got a better start, and he goes round the outside, but turn one is a right-hander.
We'll have the inside line into turn 1, but will Job try and hang it out around the outside on lap number 1? Savidovic cuts him up, closes the door straight away as we head through the first corner, and Katz in third place already on the attack as we head into turn 2, but it looks like everyone's got through cleanly.
Baker and side by side with Rushworth. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact there. I saw Rushworth's car twitching, Alex, as they go down this downhill section. It's actually frightening in some places. Daniel Hunt's gone wide, but I think he survived it.
Yeah, just looking at the pack filter through this first sector, everybody looks safe. We've got a couple of cars around though, one of the engine oil direct cars there, and I think it was an Oculus car, was it? Yeah, it was Hoog around. Hoog way
crashed.
down
Hoog's
in the
crashed,
qualifying. That's
Roberts has crashed. Richardson's also crashed as well.
Something bad happened to Daniel Hunt as well on the exit of the left-hander to go down the short chute. I don't know whether he picked up a slowdown for going over the grass, but I think that's what happened, and he is now languishing down in 21st place after being inside the top 5 at the beginning.
Yeah, he's a long way back, quite a clean lap apart from that, and is Job going to go down the inside of Savidovic into the chicane? This time he doesn't manage to do it. It's quite tight in there, Alex. We saw when we did some Star Mazda broadcasts a couple of years ago that can be a place for potential clashes.
Yeah, I think we've got somebody dropping down the order. Steve Walker, I'm just trying to chase his name disappearing down the order.
Yeah, he's gone off in the chicane.
Big time.
Contact with Janowski, that's what happened.
Oh, he lost it on the braking, and Janowski was, for once, arguably the innocent victim in all that, Adam.
Yeah, not good for Janowski. We saw him at the front of the pack in race 2 or race 3.
Walker in the pits.
And Walker into the pits as well. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he was side by side with there, but I think just tried to outbrake himself, caught the grass, and like you say, just straight into the back of Janowski there, and down, and that's some serious damage on that. I'm not sure he'll be able to get it recovered. And did he actually get around? Yeah, he did. He carried on and into the pits.
Savidovic leading from Sebastian Job. Andreas Katz, the German, in 3rd. 4th is Rushworth. Then 5th is David Baker. And Baker looks like he's putting some pressure on Rushworth here, Adam, as they go down the long back straight.
Yeah, this is the first time we're really going to be seeing whether the slipstream is that much of an advantage here at Road Atlanta. It doesn't look like the Baker's closing in on him at such a rate, and yeah, he's not closing into the Powermax car at such a rate we see at the likes of Montreal. So interesting that maybe the drivers at the front have focused more on the handling rather than the straight line speed as they head through the chicane for the second time. But Baker's still reasonably close to Jamie Rushworth as we head through that long downhill right-hander that seems to never end through the final bend. And over the line they go to start lap number 3. Baker 0.3 of a second behind Rushworth.
I love tracks like this, Alex, where you can set the car up. You know, there's different ideologies of how to get the best out of it, and it provides great racing when the cars are that differently matched.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we alluded it to at the start. There's definitely going to be a mixture of setups out there right now, and I think as this race settles in, we'll start to see those come into play more and more.
And the front 5 have dropped Alex Smolensky under a bit of pressure from Daniel Kraft. Smolensky, mid-season transfer to Laser Tools after the disbanding of Oven Gleam, and then it's like I say, Kraft in 7th, Steve Hefford in 8th. That's a good run for him. He was 8th on the grid. And then Lee Thompson putting pressure on him in 9th, followed by Pete Newman, Adam.
Yeah, this is a good battle pack at the moment. Steve Hefford leading this Apex Racing TV car of Lee Thompson. Now we'll be able to see if the Apex Racing TV car has gone for that straight line speed setup as we head down the back straight side by side further up the pack, and that is David Baker versus Jamie Rushworth once again as they head into the chicane. Will Baker try and lunge it on the inside? They're both hard on the brakes, and I think Jamie Rushworth's going to concede the place just. David Baker through into 4th, Rushworth down to 5th. And in that battle we were just looking at a second ago, it remains the same. Hefford in 8th, Thompson 9th, and Newman in 10th.
That was good driving by both men there, Alex. Rushworth could have easily turned in in another occasion. Yeah,
and he got out in the second part of the chicane. He wanted to get his nose up the inside, but it became pretty clear that Baker was going to go through that point, and he wanted to be quite forceful in closing the door off, and did so pretty well there. And Jamie just let him have it. Thought better to concede at this point. It's only lap 4, 10 to go.
And a few guys down the field who don't usually belong there. Actually, Blake Hood's down in 23rd. He's never really been a great qualifier, has he, Adam? But he is a race winner in this series. He was a front runner in season 7, wasn't he?
Yeah, driving for Team Carnage back in that season, and it was great to see him up at the front quite on a regular basis in season 8. And it's a shame to see him down in 23rd place. Remember race 1 at Twin Ring Motegi a week ago. He was up in the front of the pack until
Cats on Job.
Battle for second place then between Job and Katz, and it looked like Job was closer to Savidovic than he was to Katz, and now Katz will be on the outside for this right-hander. On the inside for this right-hander, will be on the outside though for the chicane. Job knows that. Down the inside, and Job is still maintaining his second place, but he's going to be compromised in the second part of the chicane, Andrew.
Job was tremendous on the brakes there, just it to absolute perfection, and Andreas Katz is sort of half-heartedly trying to cover the middle of the track. Couldn't do it. Job's on his way after Savidovic, but Savidovic has now got a 1.4 second lead.
Yeah, and that's a shame because Savidovic and Job were right with each other at the beginning of the lap.
Katz there, sorry. Katz getting quite close to Job. He tries to find a way back through. He's going to find it difficult, Adam, probably until you get to that double right-hander at the back end of the circuit.
Yeah, and it needs to make sure they don't slow each other up anymore, because Savidovic has now already got a 1.6 second lead, and now David Baker's coming to join the acts as well, and Rushworth, who seems to be all over the place. In fact, he's disappeared. There he is. He is in 5th place still, 0.8 of a second behind David Baker as he disappears once again, and I need to try and catch up again. And Baker now on the back of Katz, but Katz closes up just a little bit on Job through that first 90-degree right-hander. It's all about the run though, out onto the back straight, a bit like the Oak Tree Bend at Virginia International Raceway earlier in the season.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy for that. And Alex Baker looks closer this time to Katz.
Yeah, if this goes anything like the last lap, it could be Job that ends up jumping away from these two, but I don't think Baker's quite got enough straight line speed. In fact, he's actually lost ground on Katz there as Katz comes for maybe a late move into the chicane, too far back.
Yeah, you've got to be very, very opportunistic to squeeze by there to the first part of the left-hander and then the right, and then down the hill. It sort of reminds me of the third to last corner at Laguna Seca.
Steve Burke's having some issues out there right now. Yeah, Stephen Burke at the top of the crest there, got a lot of damage. Oh, just come back onto the racing line, front of cars. That's pretty poor from Burke, I have to say. He's affected 2 or 3 other people's races as well. Get it off the track, use the escape key, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. You don't turn right into.
Yeah, you can't turn. And I think he's actually going to try and go into the pits here as well. He's going to try and cut across the track and go into the pits. So
that's just a ball-in driving, really.
He misjudged his braking point and then picked up a slowdown penalty, and then just had no spatial awareness. Then he's going to have an unsafe entry just to add to another penalty.
And he'll get a penalty next week as well.
Baker around the outside of Katz.
Almost certainly. Yeah, but while you were watching that, Alex, as well, they tried to go 3 wide nearly into turn 1. Job, Katz and Baker. Now it's Baker and Katz with Jamie Rushworth and company. And if we know anything about Rushworth, Adam, is that he's feisty and he's going to go for it.
Yeah, of course, the season 4 champion, being a runner-up as well on so many occasions. We could be about to go 3 wide down the straight, but Katz covers off the Panamax car of Rushworth. Will Baker try and have a lunge on the brakes into the first part of the chicane? Katz puts his car in the centre of the racetrack and goes over the curbs and just a little bit of the grass. He needs to be careful he doesn't pick up a slowdown there. But as we head out of the chicane, it is now Katz in 3rd, Baker in... Well, the position's still the same, really. Baker in 4th and Jamie Rushworth in 5th. Baker gets a reasonable run, though, through the final corner. Could be shaping up the Oculus car for a run into the first corner, but that's not really an overtaking place.
Yeah, not really. It's almost a little bit too fast, isn't it, Alex? There's not enough of a braking area, really, is there?
No, not in these cars, I think. Some of the others you could probably throw it in there and like the sort of single seaters and just hope and pray that the downforce keeps you on the black stuff. But I think it's too much of a risk to try and come in a bit narrow with the Kias. Just the natural understeer with the front wheel drive is always going to push you out wide.
Well, though, it's good to see Laser Tools back up inside the top 10. We haven't seen that since the days of season 6, I think, with Alex Smolensky up in 6th place, doing a great job holding off Daniel Kraft in 7th, with Steve Hefford in 8th.
And what I do think, Adam, as well, is that Alex Smolensky joining the team can only help Laser Tools, because he's usually a driver who's running inside the top 10 pretty much in every race. And Robert Graham's up in the top 20 again. I know he has had experience up there, but he's having a good battle with Jay Wright. All sorts of good stuff. Laura Bond and Stelian Chepelevsky are knocking spots off each other for 29th place. I don't know what's up with Chepelevsky this week, Alex, but quite a way down, really.
Yeah, struggling. Pace doesn't seem to be there at all. Bond at the moment all over him, wants to get through that GT Omega car.
Laura's just pitted, I think, as well.
She has, yep.
So she's pitted, and Chepelevsky hasn't. Chepelevsky is really slow, actually, isn't he?
Battle for fourth as Baker, Rushworth and Katz hit each other, and Katz manages to hold on in fourth. Rushworth down in fifth.
all over the place. He's a disconnection, isn't he?
Here comes Smolenski. I think it's very hard to race with a car with a faulty connection because you just don't know where they are. And where we saw what happened really at Twin Ring Motegi sort of a week ago as Rushworth now onto the back of Katz as we head down towards this 90-degree right-hander. Baker in the meantime has been able to get past these two and up into third place. Rushworth has a little bit of a look down the inside there into the first part and then into the second 90-degree right-hander and onto the back straight. This is Rushworth's best opportunity now.
Yeah, I think it is, and similar to the Lesmos at Monza, those corners there, double right-hander leading onto this back straight, undulating. Rushworth right under the bumper of his long-time rival Andreas Katz. They've had many battles in the past. Katz to the inside line, defending his position into the chicane. It's going to take a lot from Rushworth to go around the outside. Is he going to go for it this time? Yes, he is. And he's going to make it work. And brilliant from Rushworth.
Here comes
and actually Smolenski's going through.
Fantastic job by Smolenski there.
And Hefford too.
Hefford through as well, so Rushworth down to 6th, Katz down to 7th place as well. And I wasn't expecting Rushworth to lunge it back up the inside. He's usually a bit more of a conservative driver than that, but that seems to have cost him and Katz and has just given it all to Smolenski up into 4th.
The worst part about that for Rushworth is it was a great move, but it just didn't benefit him at all. And that's allowed Steve Hefford to get up into P5. Alex, what do you make of Steve Hefford? Because he's the ultimate sort of inconsistent driver, isn't he, at the moment? He's known for the odd top 10 qualifying and the odd race like this, but then you'll have 2 or 3 meetings where he crashes and he's down in the low 20s. What's the issue, do you think, then?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just, like everything, the more practice you do, the better you are, Maybe he just doesn't quite get the time to practice as much as some of the others as he has a look on Smolenski. But right now, he's the top Oculus driver out there, so doing a great job.
Not a bad job, Adam, in a team that involves Stefan Hug and Andreas Katz.
It'll be great for their team's championship. We were talking at the beginning of the show about where Oculus were in the championship, considering they have got Andreas Katz. However,
he's going to go for it.
Whoa! And
Smolenski's off into the fence. Hefford's off, and that pretty much sums everything up, doesn't it?
Well, yes, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really. Smolenski was coming across, and Hefford was
they've hit
already
each
there.
other again, and I think that's a bit of frustration coming out.
Yeah, what a shame for Laser Tools.
Yeah,
just jumping on board with the replay actually, just to see if we can get an idea of what's going on. So we're on board with Smolenski at the moment. It looks like he's going to the right, but then you're right, he just squeezes to the left. And
which he also did at Motegi, didn't he? Which caused an accident there as well.
With one of the Pete Newman cars, I think.
Got to know when to stop moving over, I think.
I think the trouble is...
And Hefford tried to force it a bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hefford wasn't taking no for an answer for, taking no for anything there, really. And then, of course, Smolenski's vulnerable to get in, the rear control panel. You're toying with death when you do that, and, race over for him.
Yeah, race over realistically for both of them. Hefford's actually come out of the pits just behind Jay Wright. That is in, I think it's 21st.
To say Kraft is pretty close to the back of Lee Thompson, Pete Newman following him as well. Looks like Pete Newman Media double team on the Apex car here. And Pete was actually pushing his teammate down the straight there.
And Katz is able to get the move done on Rushworth as well, just in front of these two, and those two side by side, Kraft and Thompson, and now Rushworth trying to get back past Katz straight away as they head through the final corner. Look how close they were there as they come across the line. 4 laps to go in the opening race here.
Gonna go
Atlanta. Down the inside, we were saying this wasn't an overtaking spot, but I think Rushworth might try and prove us wrong here. Side by side still on the exit of turn 1, and as they head down to turn 2, I think Katz has got the momentum, and Rushworth slots back into 5th place.
That's good work from Katz, that to get back past Rushworth. I don't think this one's done. The 14 lap race here, 4 to go, and momentum you use that word to describe the battle, but also, well, we'll see. All that thought as Rushworth trying to go around the outside of Katz again into that first 90-degree right-hander, and Katz is going to have to cover the inside line again. All the next ones, they're going to go down the straight. Alex, momentum's such an important thing in a long championship like this. Davidovich, great momentum coming into this, and this race, snatching pole position at the very death, it must be adding great confidence to him.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle's really starting to heat up. Looks like we've got some...
Oh, there's more as well behind it. So Katz, and again Rushworth tries it. He's on the grass this time, it's not going to work. Katz is going to make a little bit of room from him though, for him. Excellent driving from Katz, very sensible, veteran driving.
Here comes Kraft though, all this battling is slowing them up. They've lost huge amounts of time, they're 7.3 seconds behind Sebastian Job and David Baker now as well, and they were right on their tails at one point. So
Thompson and Newman are there as well, Alex, and if it's, Lee Thompson's settled into this series really nicely, and he's moving forward every week and progressing. Sebastian Job ahead of Dave Baker, only by 0.2 of a second actually coming across the line the last time. And Baker, we said Adam, didn't we, that it might suit David Baker this track. He's better on his tyres, you would think, and it's working really well as he looks to get a run on Job down the straight.
Yeah, and it helps to be opportunistic as well. Rushworth and Katz going off in front of him, and that allows him to go up to third place. And ever since then, he hasn't looked back and is now attacking Sebastian Job as they head down the back straight. Further back, Katz still ahead of Rushworth. Wonder if tyres are starting to...
Oh, Baker's very close now.
Yeah, indeed, and on the back of Job into the chicane, but just doesn't want to go around the outside. He's setting him up though for a run out of the chicane. Look at the line that Baker got there. He's trying to get the best speed on the exit, but it's just, I think, too short of a run.
Rushworth through as well. Sorry, we just saw that on the camera angles there.
It's still not done though. I don't think Katz is looking really feisty, and Kraft and Thompson as well.
Baker on the inside of turn one. Sorry, I'm flipping between these two battles.
Is Baker going through? No, Baker's not quite through on Job as they go up the top of the hill and over the crest now. For Sebastian Job, he's got 2 laps to hold on to that second place. Neither of these guys can catch Davidovich now, and you can see now behind them, it's all kicking off with Rushworth, with Katz, Kraft, Thompson and Newman.
Yeah, Kraft nearly got past Katz there going through the first corner, and Rushworth took a good line through the first corner, has been able to pull half a second on Katz already. It'll be interesting to see if Katz can close that back.
And look at this battle for 17th as well. Robert Graham, Janowski, J. Wright, Smolensky's in there, and there's a bit of contact there. Graham forced out of the way by Janowski.
And into turn 2, Janowski gets out of it though. I was expecting him to go down the inside there, but that's now going to allow Jay Wright to have a look, and he got slowed down, and that means Smolensky in 21st place is now trying to get back past, with James Nash a lap down in 33rd, having a good view of what's going on as for a second Sebastian Job's disappeared from the timing screen. That's because he's not in second place anymore.
No, he's got a slow down, has he?
Something happened, but he's carrying on.
I didn't see him, he disappeared on my screen as well, but I wonder if it was a slight connection problem, but he came back on and he was going very slowly, and that's allowed Baker to get up into second place with very little effort, Alex.
Just having a little look at the replay of it now. They were side by side down the straight. Baker almost clears through. Heavy braking. Good.
Oh, Katz has gone wide.
They made contact at the chicane there, and it looks like actually the contact forced Job a little bit tighter than perhaps he would have wanted to, so he got a slow down penalty, and that will release Baker for second.
Yep, and another person who's been released is Jamie Rushworth. Katz made a dog's breakfast of the first corner, and that allows Daniel Kraft to close in now. Kraft for Peter Newman Media. He's got his team boss just 2 places behind, but it doesn't look like Newman can make any inroads on Thompson. So on to the final lap, and we're nearly into the final corners actually for Davidovich. He's going to come down the back straight, and it really has been a great race for him, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, the guys battling behind earlier on just completely released him, and he was able then just to do his thing out front and be comfortable that he was not really going to get caught up. The lap times between them so close, and as soon as Job and Baker and everyone lost the draft. That was it. It was clean sailing for him, and he didn't put a foot wrong, and fully deserves this victory.
Game, set, and match for Wojciech Savidovic as he wins the first round of the evening here at Road Atlanta. Round 34 goes to the Dubliner.
And David Baker second place, fantastic job from him. Sebastian Joe third in the end. It could have been a win if he hadn't got involved in that battle at the beginning of the race, but third place, another strong result from him. And it's important to get these points so he can get inside that top 10 showdown at the end of the season, which he isn't at the moment. Fourth for Rushworth, fifth for Katz. Those guys could have been on the podium as well.
If we were like the UFC and we gave out a Fight of the Night award, it would definitely go to Rushworth and Katz.
Yeah,
they beat the hell out of each other in that race.
And seventh place, Lee Thompson. So Apex Racing TV having two cars inside the top 10. That's going to do their team championship a world of good. Eighth for Pete Newman. Ninth for Daniel Hunt. He had a slowdown at the beginning of the race and was in 21st, but he managed to get it back into ninth place. Good job from him. Jerome Kaiser in 10th. Vela Stevens 11th. Andrew Whitehead. Good to see him up inside the top 15. 12th place for him. Robert Plumley 13th. Ashley Baker 14th. Dan Blake 15th. Simon Field 16th. Steve Hefford 17th, Robert Graham in 18th, Julian Janowski 19th, and Alex Malensky after what could have possibly have been a podium finish in race 1, 20th place, 21st Jay Wright, 22nd Eckhart von Glan, 23rd Damian Harrison with Steve Walker 24th, 25th Paul Smith, 26th Russell Layla, Stalin Chepelevsky, I don't know what happened with his form in race 1, but he was 27th, John Roberts 28th, Steve Richardson 29th, 30th Stephen Burke, and then 31st it's James Nash.
If Chepelevsky had some damage, we'll have to try and maybe investigate that later on. I've got a few different positions to that. I don't know what Alex has got, but I've got Newman ahead of Thompson, and I think, and I checked that one, and that one was like that.
It's probably because I'm reading the real-time one and instead of the official results.
Yeah, let's see.
And then I have also got Smolensky in 18th instead of 20th. So I think that's how they finished, but you'd have to check that one out.
Yeah, that's how I've got it.
Apologies, I was reading the wrong result.
Yeah, unfortunately on the live time it doesn't always update until the very last driver crosses the line, does it for us? Adam,
but again,
so catches us out.
Wojciech Savidovic again, so good, Alex, and really looking difficult for people to stop him now.
Yeah,
I know it's early, but
well, I mean, he's going to make it into the showdown. There are other drivers getting equal amounts of podiums and race wins and things like that, though. So when it comes down to the showdown, the points are all reset, remember, and then it's just going to be a straight out fight. And you wouldn't like to count out any of the top sort of 5-6 drivers that are there week in, week out, and you know, Katz defending champion. I mean, Baker as well. How consistent is Baker? That might come into its own in the last sort of few rounds. And
he's not really had that many podium finishes, has he, this season? Baker
took his first win at Motegi.
P2, Adam, is a terrific result for Volatile Element.
Yeah, those podium credits are going to possibly take him up to the showdown provisional order, especially since Simon Field finished all the way down in 15th place, who is the driver above him. And it's going to be interesting as well because John Roberts, where did he finish? He was
28th, and he struggled as well, like down with Stellion. So I'm not sure what happened with. In fact, Roberts crashed at the start, didn't he?
Yeah.
He crashed into he was involved with Richardson and Hoog. So
because he's involved in that battle for the last position. Yeah. In the showdown, 10 points between him and Paul Smith going into this first race. It's going to be interesting to see how that's changed as a result of this first race.
Where did Smith end up? What did he get?
25th.
25th, so again, not very good. So a lot of people underperforming Alex really in this race. Laidler down in 26th. I wonder if some of them just didn't like the circuit.
It's a tough track. It really is, Marmite kind of track. You either love it or you hate it. And yeah, for me, I always used to hate it. It just was terrible here. And then
Marmite or Road Atlanta.
Road Atlanta, yeah. Well, Marmite as well. But yeah, all of a sudden it just clicks, and then it's all of a sudden you find the line and where actually the pace is in the circuit, and then you begin to really start to enjoy it. So I think a few drivers perhaps maybe put off first time, obviously in the series that we've been here, and so some drivers struggling out there put off in that first early days of testing, and perhaps haven't quite put the same level of effort in that some of the others might have done. Yep,
and that definitely sounds like it could be an issue for them. people who won't be put off is us. BSR TV will be back for
Reverse grid.
Reverse grid needs to be done as well. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, let's have a look at the cars that are eligible. Yeah, Simon Field 15th, Dan Blake 16th, Steve Hefford 17th, Alex Walensky 18th, Julian Janowski 19th, Jay Wright 20th, 21st, Robert Graham 22nd, Eckhart von Glan 23rd, Damian Harrison 24th, Steve Walker 25th, Paul Smith, and 26th, Russell Layla and Stelin Chepelevsky just one place outside the reverse grid draw.
Of course, he would finish. The one point behind. Just some interesting information. We were talking about Jamie Rushworth's connection, Alex, just before you do the grid roll. He's actually on a 3G connection this evening. So that's why he's struggling so much. He's had something wrong with his broadband in his apartment. So fair play to him, actually. That wasn't too bad considering.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't that ropey, actually. I mean, yeah, it blinked out a little bit for a little while, and then it sorted itself out. And so, yeah, it's pretty impressive. Right, let's do the dummy rolls. First up, we would have had 16, followed by 25th, and then 26. So almost a full grid, but pole position is going to go to 19th.
Julian Janowski on pole position with Alex Malensky second place. So
and then Hefford, Adam.
Yeah. Watch out for Carnage go. Well, at least they're starting on different rows, but maybe that might mean Steve Hefford classes into the back of him into turn one.
It might not mean anything after that. They hit each other once and then they hit each other again. And then they finish next to each other on the racetrack. So
yeah, Dan Blake 4th, Field 5th. So that's your top 5 for race 2.
We'll have to see what that holds. We'll have to see what the weather holds as well. Looking quite cloudy up there. I wonder if we're going to have overcast conditions at some point tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a great qualifier, actually. We're just going to go for a quick commercial break, guys. A lot of people tuning in. Thanks for all the comments and everything that are coming in at the moment. Sit tight. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to BSRTV. It's round 35 of the Engine Oil Direct Touring Car Pro Series. My name is Andrew Woodhouse. I'm back with Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. We're at Road Atlanta in the United States. And Alex Simpson, we saw a very, very good first race, didn't we? Lots of action, great battling in the top five, and Wojciech Savidovic extending his championship lead.
Yeah, great battle out there. One of the better ones we've had, and pretty clean race throughout. And there's a lot of drivers and a lot of battles going on that we missed there. So apologies for that, but there was just too much going on in the front, sort of 10, 15 places. But we'll try and pick up a little bit more if we can. Going back, but yeah, Savidovic just great race. Didn't put a foot wrong, no mistakes whatsoever, no opportunity for anybody else. As soon as they started battling behind him, it was his.
Sure, we will, given the reverse grid, get a chance to see a few more different drivers up at the front. Adam, the conditions here very much similar to race one, only 1 degree different in the track temperature. That's going to mean, that the guys are still going to have to look after their tyres, and you're going to see the same drivers possibly coming forward towards the front. Look for Smolensky and Hefford probably in particular.
Well, we saw it happen in dramatic fashion at Twin Ring Motegi, but it's a different kettle of fish altogether really here at Road Atlanta. it's going to be hard for them to overtake because, as we saw in race 1, there's not too many places to overtake really at the end of that long back straight, and it's all about the momentum because we saw the field spread apart during race 1, so it's definitely going to be hard for these guys to work their way back up.
Yeah, Sebastian Job with the fastest time in the warm-up here. Of course, they get a 10-minute warm-up before every race here on iRacing. Great. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. Quite a good, sizable crowd tuning into the stream tonight, so we're very pleased to have you with us wherever you may be. We've got a lot of Andreas Katz fans on there, Alex. So they putting forward a lot of support for their man?
Yep, certainly are. Definitely want to cheer him on. So give him plenty of support when he come onto the comments after the race. So I'm sure they'll like to see him work his way up through the grid. Not obviously as far back as some of the others. So this might be a good opportunity if he can get a good start and pick a few places up nice and early in this first couple of laps. Then he might be able to work his way to the front a bit quicker than people like Svidovic and Job and Rushworth and all those lot. So Bakers that managed to end the race up front.
Yeah. Who do you think, Adam, is a good contender for this race to victory?
Either Smolensky or Simon Field. It all just depends whether Smolensky gets through the first lap without Steve Hefford or whoever it was. Was it Steve Hefford? Yeah, Steve Hefford.
Steve. Yep.
Getting back at him. But yeah, if he makes it through to the final lap, I think he'll be a bit of a contender. Simon Field, though, he's starting just inside the top 5, I think, for this second race, and didn't have the best of first races, so the reverse grid seems to be helping him out, and I think he will be one to watch in the second one.
Indeed he will. And we are only a minute away from the start of race 2 here, round 35. Like I said, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. A great first third of the season. We've had a lot of thrills and spills. We've had 2 oval races as well. One triangle race at Pocono, 1 oval race at Twin Ring Motegi, and then of course we've got some great tracks coming up, Adam, in the next few weeks.
Yes, we have.
And potentially the Nürburgring at some point. We don't know that. But
Monza, Mid-Ohio, they all spring to mind as well. I think we'll return to Silverstone, I think. So, yeah, quite a few challenging racetracks still to come on this championship when we're only at the 1/3 stage.
It's going to be great. Alex, is there a race that you're particularly looking forward to? Is they ready almost for the start?
I just can't really pinpoint one. They've all been great so far, but I think the driver's choice one's going to be the one, I think, for me, wherever that might be.
That could be absolutely anything. As the revs rise, and the winner here could be absolutely anyone. Green. As the green light comes on again at Road Atlanta. And a good start by Janowski, but Smolensky, they're drawing alongside him. And Janowski seemed to get a good initial getaway and bogged down slightly. His Field's trying to go side by side with Dan Blake through turn 1. A little bit of contact somewhere. Smolensky actually goes off.
And one of the Apex cars.
Field's going to come through, is he?
And second place, it is Hefford. Smolensky now down to 4th place. Field into 3rd. 5th place, that is Dan Blake. Ashley Blake Hood in 6th.
Whitehead 7th. What's goodness me, Hefford all over the grass there trying to get past Janowski. He needs to be careful he doesn't get a slowdown penalty, Alex.
Yeah, it can easily happen this first lap, as we saw, just a little bit of bumping. You can push the driver
Hefford
off and around, so just having a little look.
Hefford does have a slowdown penalty.
No other instance that I've seen so far, everyone's still going. Robert Plumley didn't take to the grid, so something going wrong for Robert out there. As they're 3 wide going into the tricky right-hander before the back straight. They managed to survive. Bit of sideways action. They're still going to be 3 wide down the straight. No, someone got slowed down there.
Here comes Simon Field to take the lead from Julian Janowski. They are side by side as they head down the back straight into the chicane, though. Smolensky keeping a watchful eye. He could be gaining 2 positions here if these two make a mess of this chicane. Here we go.
One of the volatile element cars outbrakes himself, but he actually turned it into an overtaking move. I believe that was Ashley Blake Hood going round the outside of Andrew Whitehead. That was terrific.
Field through into the lead. Janowski down to 2nd place. Can GT Omega car get the lead back as they head over the line to complete lap number 1? Smolensky still in 3rd. 4th place it is Blake Hood with Dan Blake in 5th. Here comes Smolensky to get it back from Janowski. And he's
lost it. He went a bit wide. He understeered there and right into Janowski. And look at Blake Hood and Whitehead still going for it. Whitehead around the outside. And that's
Slow
not going
down.
to work as he gets put through the grass.
Guaranteed slow down for Dan Blake.
Slalom section. Dan
Yeah.
Blake, has he got to slow down as well? Oh, sorry, it is Dan Blake.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
not
Look at
Whitehead.
that. Kills you, that does. Look at the cars just streaming by poor Dan Blake right now. He's
dear.
absolutely hopeless.
One thing-
Speedovic through. Oh, and one more for just for
Janowski
Robert
goes-
Graham.
And
through
he
as
still
well.
hasn't cleared it, look.
No.
Janowski still. Janowski won't.
Even with iRacing now telling you how much you have to slow down, he still
There he
hasn't
goes.
cleared his... No, he hasn't. Has he? Maybe.
Yeah,
Just
he has.
about.
Janowski and Smolensky and
He's so
Blake
far
Hood
down
joining the
now.
party as well. Look at this. Smolensky don't cut across like he did in race 1, and he leaves the door open for Janowski going into the chicane. Janowski going to try and maintain his second place,
Good
but
work.
Smolensky is
Oh, and look
through.
at that behind them as well.
Here comes Blake Hood as well. Blake
Ellis
Hood.
Sebastian Jobs off into the gravel. He's going to come back on, but he's lost 3 or 4 positions.
Blake Hood through into 3rd place now.
Look at this gaggle. This gaggle going on for sort of 8th, 9th, 10th.
Great battle, and who's that now battling? That is Jerome Kaiser and Andrew Whitehead battling as Blake Hood goes wide, and that allows. Is that Kaiser through? I think that's Kaiser through the 2 Engine Oils direct cars.
Someone went through the Engine Oil direct cars. I keep getting them mixed up with the different colours, and Kaiser doing well actually in this race. Really.
Yeah, the last time we saw Jerome Kaiser, I think Alex, he was facing the wrong way after losing when a safety car came out. So good to see him back inside the top 5.
Yeah, we won't.
Your own.
Yeah, we won't want to mention that too much for him. Name and shame. Put a link in the description for the VIR race.
He might come in later and start having a go.
He'll start making results for us.
Yes. Yeah, he'll have just wiped all of my negligible points from the races I've done. Meanwhile, down the back straight, look at this gaggle again. From Daniel Hunt backwards. Not Daniel Hunt backwards, Andrew Whitehead backwards. Actually, Blake Hood is going backwards a tiny bit. Whitehead and Blake Hood side by side. Katz has missed his braking point a little bit, but he uses it to decent effect. He's trying to go. Well, he tried to get past Baker. I don't think he's managed to do it though. Baker maintains that position in front of the German, and goodness me, that is tight between Daniel Hunt and Pete Newman.
Great start for Baker actually, up to P10 already. He's definitely looking racy as we've got someone coming out of the pits. That's going to get very narrow quickly.
Brandon, I believe, wasn't it?
Stays out of the way to be fair,
Pritchard.
although just it comes out
sorry.
from Svidovic now. So Joe's struggling a little bit. I wonder if he picked up any damage, although he's on the tail of Ellis there. Okay, try and get by Ellis as quick as he can, as we've got
Whitehead is off, and he's going to come back on, and that's going to allow Blake Hood to try and go around the outside, but Newman looking down the inside, heading into the first of these 90-degree right-handers, and Blake Hood round the outside. I don't think that's going to work. He's going to be on the outside.
Whitehead was late on the brakes, and he's actually pushed Blake Hood onto the grass a little bit. That allows Hunt to get close, and Newman, and look at this
2x2
squabble. Yeah, 2x2, like a little mini drafting pack here. Baker, Katz is there. Is that Rushworth in there, is it?
Yes, it is. In 11th place, so him, Baker, 10th and 11th, but who's going to get 4th as we head in 5th, into the left-hander? That's Hunt out of control, Whitehead out of control as well. Kraft gets through, and I'm sure Hunt will rejoin in 13th place.
Yeah.
That's how many positions he lost after that mistake into the chicane.
He's actually behind Savinovich now.
Yeah, down to 13th then. So it is now Blake Hood in 5th, Kraft in 6th, or is it? Because here comes Baker. Baker through past Andreas Katz. So Baker into 8th place, but Katz is trying to get it back as they head over the top and into turn 2. Andrew Whitehead just holding on and praying really in 7th place that he's able to hold all of these guys off for another 9 laps of racing here at Road Atlanta.
I think Whitehead's got the pace, you know. I think he got past Blake Hood of his own accord. Let's see if he can actually get... I know Blake Hood got back past him, but Whitehead's looking racy here. Alex Baker and Katz, a great team in the VLN series of the Karcher team. They know each other well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. They do know each other very well indeed, and give each other a lot of respect out there on track, and no doubt they'll want to beat each other more than anything deep down though.
The most impressive thing for me, Adam, week in, week out in this series, is just how close everyone can race. You know, you really don't get that competition anywhere else other than on iRacing.
Yeah, we always see close racing week in and week out in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We never run out of things really to talk about. As now it's Baker's trying to get past Whitehead, and Katz looking down the inside, 3 wide. Really, Katz, really? That's not going to work. And also in front, Kraft and Blake Hood battling, and he gets turned.
He's hit Whitehead.
Whitehead gets turned around by Andreas Katz there, and that's now going to split the pack up even
He's
more.
still
Look at this 3 wide. My
Rushworth's
word.
going in, and this is going to be awful.
How does that all work out?
Whitehead's actually managed to only lose 1 place, and Rushworth went off the track. Katz has gone off as well. Savinovic is on the inside, and Newman's there. Hunt's there, and Savinovic is definitely there, and Newman's gone.
They had to give their Katz and Newman hit each other, and I knew it was going to end in tears.
And off goes Laidler, and he's hit Alex
Smith.
Stevens.
No, sorry, Stevens, yeah. So,
and I don't know what happened
there.
And they're gone off the track. And Alex, that was a bit of a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to wind it back. Let's have a little look at the replay, because there was some aftermath to Pete going off as well.
Oh no.
Let's just have a little look at it back. So yeah, Pete initially sort of on the inside there, and then just gets rear quarter panelled, and around he goes. Famous
technique.
Yeah, well, he just he tries to stay on the inside as much as possible, and actually everybody misses him, but there's something else that goes on afterwards. So let's have a look at what happened to Laidler as well, because we definitely missed that. As we just have a look at that back. Katz did most of that straight there, away section on the grass, so he was given at large down there for sure. As it looks like Laidler's in the middle of, he's not really getting caught in anything. And then I think actually he got a little tag from Job on the inside, and when everybody was checking up, I don't think Job could do too much about it. Maybe that's me just being a little bit biased there, but we've got cars just jumping the track and all sorts. But yeah, very messy for that little turn.
Whilst we're looking at the replay, David Baker is up into 5th, and it's Julian Janowski that's dropped a few spots. He lost a place to Kraft and Baker and Blake Hood on that lap. So Janowski down to 7th place, and where's Rushworth? Rushworth now closing in at a fair rate of knots on the GT Omega car as well. Daniel Hunt in 9th, Savinovic 10th, Katz 11th, Whitehead 12th, 13th Job now, 14th Walker, 15th Smith, and in 16th it's Dan Blake.
Well, Adam, for once our predictions are going pretty well. Simon Field, your pick, leading the race by 3.5 seconds, and then Smolenski.
Where's he gone?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Has he disappeared?
He's gone. He's dropping down the order, and I don't know whether that's a disconnection or something, but he's not appearing, and Alex Smolenski for Laser Tools is now leading.
That's the ultimate commentator's curse then, isn't
Yeah.
it? I've finally done it. I finally made someone disappear with just words.
Well, you've made someone's internet go.
I've made someone's internet go.
Just vanished.
And that's just,
I have to say, it's not the first time that I don't think it's the first time that Field's gone.
He's gone. He's out there.
Walker and Joe down the back straight. Joe definitely struggling with some damage. I think his car's very slow in a straight line, so don't know what happened to him at the start, but everybody is trying to get a run on him. It looks like he has got a little bit of damage on that rear wing, but can't see anything else that would really be affecting his straight line speed as much as it is, but everybody's flying past him.
So Smolenski leads by 5.3 seconds for Laser Tools. And I believe, Adam, if Laser Tools ever won a race.
I think they did back in season 6. I think Robert Graham might have took a win.
I think he did.
I do remember him
was he
getting
not for Apex then, though?
No, I do think he was at Laser Tools. I'll go back through the stats at the end of the race if it turns out to be a Laser Tools victory. But at the moment, he is leading from Kaiser by 5.4 seconds. However, the battle for second is well and truly on. 3 cars battling here over second place.
Yeah, your own Kaiser, the Dutchman. For Engine Oil Direct, he's ahead of Dan Kraft and Dave Baker to English.
Good run from Kraft as well. He got great exit out of that right-hander there, and surely he's going to get enough draft to come alongside Kaiser here. Kaiser going to the right. He's going to try and defend this to the outside. He'll have the inside for the right-hand part of the chicane.
What's
Kraft
Baker going to do? Baker going to go up the middle. Actually, both of them just outbraking Kaiser there.
Yep.
And Blake Hood up the inside of Rushworth. That was a nice move. But we mentioned Blake Hood, Adam, that he struggled in qualifying. He was mired down there a little bit. He's showing good speed here.
Yeah, very good speed, and he's now pulling away from Rushworth, and Rushworth might start to close in now as they come across the line. Daniel Hunt looking very close, and Savidovic looking a bit racy there, looks to the inside, fates to the inside there going into the first corner. Thinks that up in front.
Baker's just taken Kraft.
Yeah, so into turn 1, Baker now up into second place, lapping just over 0.6 of a second quicker than Alex Smolenski. If my maths are correct, I don't think he'll be able to get to the Laser Tools car in time of that race as Rushworth takes a handful of curb going through. In fact, I hear a bit of contact. I don't know who that was.
One of the GT Omega cars using all the track and more there as well through that tricky left-hander, and Smolenski now trying to get around the outside of Dan Hunt it was as well, who was nearly in orbit.
Savidovic, I think, was it, Alex?
Sorry, Savidovic, yeah, my bad.
I was looking at the leader. Oh, he's on the grass. Is Savidovic and Daniel Hunt, who won the, I remember he won the media day race at Monza. He's won a lot else this season, I must admit.
Cats, what's he in there?
Oh, is he going to go for it? He's going to go for it, Cats, is he?
Oh, be careful.
Oh, no!
He's going for it.
No,
he
can't, surely.
So Savidovic is.
Oh, banging wheels there. Hunt and Savidovic.
Oh, Hunt might turn across him now. I thought that's what he was going to do, but now they're going to be side by side through the final corner.
Going to be very close. Wojciech on the outside. Daniel Hunt up the inside.
Now this is going to ruin their speed, though.
Is coming now.
Suicide there going through the final corner. Here he goes. Savidovic, who's going to have the line? Oh, Savidovic was playing with like a huge risk there by going around the outside, and he's just able to hold on to it. Yes.
Oh, he's got a bit wide. He's got a bit wide though, Savidovic. But you can't really overtake down here, Alex.
No, you just literally single file down here. You just need to stay as close as you can. Try and get good run out of the final left-hander.
Oh,
looks like Hunt actually has done great.
Cat's on the gravel. The gravel and the grass, and it's only race 2. Andreas, you're going to have some energy left in the last one.
Side by side, Rushworth and Blake Hood. Yes, into the right-hander onto the back straight. Rushworth around the outside. Bit of contact there between the volatile element car and Power Max car.
No!
I think that
can't do that.
No.
Oh, he's lost it.
He nearly hit Savidovic there. I think. In all fairness to Blake Hood, Rushworth did blink for about 2 seconds, and I don't think Blake Hood knew where he was.
I looked like actually didn't know he was even there, you know.
He's having to wait as well. I saw Job take to the grass. I think he lost a couple more places there. I think someone mentioned nothing's going right for him, and but Blake Hood does a great thing, just keeping the car off the track, waits for time. Everybody's still having to dart out of his way. Panic stations for a moment there.
At first I thought that was a little bit dodgy from Blake Hood, but then I went on board with him, and you can't actually see Rushworth's car until the very last second. So I think that was just a racing incident. I think he thought Rushworth had just gone off.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was just a little bit between them, and then the connection and whatnot as well there. But I thought Ashley had managed to save it and was going to be carrying on going straight. I was really shocked to see him lose the rear end as he rejoined the circuit.
Yeah, it's very rare that happens really in these front-wheel drive Kia Optimas at that low speed. Anyway, Job has actually took Whitehead and Smith. He's up behind Janowski now for 9th, and Job's going to actually make this through pretty easily. I think Janowski's gone wide, and Seb's just going to beam through, but he may actually be under attack into the chicane. He may have to stay to the left-hand side here.
Yeah, quick car through the corners, as you'd expect, but struggling a little bit with straight line speed, although I think he will just hold on to this one, as we might be 2 or 3 wide behind him.
Oh, Whitehead's going for it though.
Yeah, great move actually from Whitehead. He's got Janowski there.
Oh, it was.
And that's going to allow Paul Smith through.
Smith is just trying to get the lead in the AM Championship. Paul Smith as well.
Through the final corner, side by side, Smith and Whitehead. How did they not touch? That was very close there.
And that's Thompson as well involved in that battle. He's at the back in 13th place, I believe. 14th place now.
Thompson's been working his way up. At one point, we've got Whitehead off. Thompson was down
3 wide. And off goes Walker.
Oh, totally missing this. Carried on looking at what happened with Whitehead there. This
3 wide and just the slightest error of judgment there. And Steve Walker ends up hitting the wall. Whitehead, I think, might have a slowdown. And then there's an Oculus car who's hit Whitehead into the barrier. I think that was Stefan Hoog coming through, looking a bit erratic there. And
Just
Hoog's
watching
going to he's going to take Janowski as well.
Yeah, just watching what happens with Walker here. So yeah, those cars coming back on, like you say, 3 wide. Walker just sort of got nerfed into the wall there.
Oh, Walker's hit Janowski now as well. Oh, it's all kicking off here.
Let's jump back live. I'm missing too much on the replay.
Chepelevsky's in 17th place, and he's losing positions. Hand over fist to Laura Bond and to Jay Wright, is it, for Oculus?
And another driver in there, newly appointed to the season. Give him a quick shout out. 31st up to 15th. He's having a bit of a whale of a time out there right now.
Yeah, looking at all this unfolding in his rear view mirror into the chicane. Just keep it going, Nash.
Laura nearly touched the grass on the way into that chicane, and but she manages to stay ahead of Jay Wright. Laura Bond in the reverse group positions. We've seen her have good race 3, still yet to get that elusive podium though. Can it be today?
2 laps to go then in race 2, and Andreas Katz and Daniel Hunt are battling over 7th place as well. 2/10 of a second separating those two as they head through the left-hander. Katz gets a good run through the left-hander, runs out a bit wide though. It's going to be all about that back straight, so a good battle going on there between Katz, who currently sits in 2nd place in the standings.
Yeah, he's going to set him up here. Well, we thought he was. He's gone off the track, so that's probably... Oh no, well, he did lose a lot of time, to be honest, Katz. And he's going to...
Doesn't get a good run.
He's on the grass again, so I think that's going to be that.
Battle for 4th though, Kaiser and Rushworth.
Yes, and that's very, very close. Rushworth tucked right underneath that Kia Optima. Down this braking area, which reminds me of sort of into the tunnel into the chicane in Monaco. And Kaiser, can he keep it? Not really. Rushworth there. Savinovic actually coming now. That's his teammate, you're on Kaiser. And Kaiser smartly allows Savinovic to come through. And now maybe Alex Wojcik can pile the pressure onto Rushworth for one final lap.
Yeah, you have to feel that he'll have a little run into the chicane on the last lap. Jamie really needs some sort of slipstream ahead. He's not going to be able to close up to Kraft, I think, in time. Just the 1 lap to go. Smolensky's still up front. We haven't seen him on the on air much, but he's just had no pressure whatsoever after getting the lead fairly well handed to him, shall we say?
Well, I've looked through the stats, Andrew, and I think you have to say that Laser Tools haven't got a victory. So yeah, this is going to be their first victory in the series if Smolensky holds on.
All Smolensky has to do is stay ahead of David Baker for a couple of corners, really. And Alex Smolensky himself has won several races. I think he's got about 6 or 7 wins in the series over his career.
All Savinovic and Rushworth. Rushworth made a horrific mistake going into the first part of these 90-degree right-handers, and that means Savinovic is going to be right with him as they head over the top of the hill, and now full speed ahead as they head into the chicane, and Rushworth knows that he's at a disadvantage. He's already defending the inside line. It's all about whether Savinovic can get it done into the chicane. Is he too far back? Is he going to have a lunge? Here we go into the chicane. Savinovic too far away.
Rushworth very late on the brakes, and he managed to keep it. And Smolensky is going to win for Laser Tools. The Saltire is going to fly. Excellent. David Baker, second place, had him in a row.
Wow, what a great job by David Baker, and he seems to be upping the consistency. We saw it at Twinrin Motegi, and he's doing it once again at Road Atlanta. 3rd for Daniel Kraft, 4th for Jamie Rushworth, 5th for Wojciech Savinovic, 6th for Jerome Kaiser. Fantastic job from him. Daniel Hunt in 7th, with Andreas Katz in 8th after being involved in all sorts of shenanigans during the race. Sebastian Job 17th to 9th, that's a good job by him. 10th Paul Smith from 25th on the grid. 11th Lee Thompson, 12th Dan Blake, Stefan Hoog 34th to 13th, Steve Walker 24th to 14th, James Nash 32nd to 15th. So in the midfield, a lot of good comeback stories here. 16th Laura Bond, 17th Jay Wright, 18th John Roberts, 19th Julian Janowski, 20th Stelian Chepelevsky, and then 21st Russell Layla, 22nd Ellis Stevens, 23rd Steve Richardson, 24th Eckhart von Glan, 25th Ashley Blake Hood, 26th Pete Newman, 27th Stephen Burke. So 2 Pete Newman media cars outside the top 25, and then 28th Andrew Whitehead, 29th Robert Plumley, and then the cars a lap down or more. William Pritchard, Simon Field, who was leading the race, heard something who was leading the race. Yeah, and then 32nd was Steve Hefford, 33rd Damien Harrison, and then 34th was Robert Graham. So Laser Tools heading the top and the bottom of the result standings.
Yeah, indeed, and tremendous performances. Some really good races, Alex, coming through from the very back of the grid to finish. You look at Bond, Nash, Hoog, Smith, and Savidovic and Baker ultimately as well. It's a really, really good race.
Yeah, great race actually. Not too much going on out there. Nothing more than racing instance as far as I could see. No mistakes really. So, few drivers got lucky, avoided some carnage, and Speedovic, another great drive up to 5th. He keeps doing his thing. Ultimately that race though that's not going to count for him, is it? At the end of the season, there's no podium there, so doesn't get any extra points for the showdown.
That is assuming, of course, that he makes it. But obviously, he has such a massive lead already. You would think it's a given. And what sort of mindset does that give you, Alex? If you're getting 5th place and it's not really doing anything?
Yeah, that was my point really for bringing it up. Really, he wants to race to the podium. That's it. He needs the podiums to get those extra bonus points ready for the showdown. So, I think while he'll have had a lot of fun out there and be pumped and ready for the next race, he knows that actually that he's not gained anything on his rivals when the points reset. And actually, you've got people like Baker, that are in there and around there. That's
Baker's gained.
That's a bonus point to Baker. So he's actually, as far as you're concerned, at the end of the season, he's caught up quite a bit. So it's honours to Baker at the moment. So
this is actually something that I'd not really thought about, Alex, for the first sort of 10 weeks of the season. Is that for the very, very top guys, actual points don't actually mean a thing.
No, exactly. We're saying, he's 200 points clear or whatnot.
Doesn't matter whether they finish 10th or 15th or two laps down. It's the same result, isn't it?
It means nothing, and that's why actually, Jobs, he's had his bad luck and things like that. But with the 5 wins, and I think if he stays outside the top 10, he's got an almost guaranteed, race in the showdown. So I think.
However, the team's championship is still. That's what they need to create the points for, isn't it? That's the one where the massive money is.
Yeah, exactly. And 3 teams obviously go into the showdown for the final. So, they still need, points equals prizes in that. So, that's really where I guess they're fighting for. So those points, I'll take it back a little bit. It means something for the teams more so than the driver specifically. So,
but you're right, the Drivers' Championship, there's that there. Just for any new viewers who are watching, the prize fund for this series is unlike anything outside the iRacing World Championship. $10,000 of actual money is available, shared out. The winning team, Adam gets $4,000, and then I think it's $2,000 for the winning driver, isn't it? Oh, it's one. I think it's $1,000, isn't it?
Yeah, $4,000 for the first place in the team's championship, $2,000 for second, $1,000 for third, and then $1,000 for the first place driver in the drivers' championship, with $300 for second, $200 for third, and then $500 for the AM Championship, and then $500 for the safest driver. And the last time we looked, I think it was either David Baker or Ellis Stevens that was at the top of that.
It was Ellis, but he did get involved in a crash today, so don't know whether that's going to put him down that standing. But I think he was quite a way in front, wasn't he? So remains to be seen. Adam, what were your thoughts on that race and the Road Atlanta so far, given that you've seen a lot more of these races than we have?
Well, yeah, I was the same as Alex heading to this race meeting. I did have my doubts. I'm not a big fan of Road Atlanta either. And yeah, it's proving to be quite a good race meeting so far. 2 fantastic races, even though the leader's been out in front for most of it. However, in the third race, we've got overcast conditions. I know that because I've looked at the predicted forecast, and yeah, we are going overcast for the third and final race of the evening. So cold tyres going into that super quick first corner could shape up the field a bit, and of course we've got the reverse grid to worry about as well. And
just before the reverse grid, Alex, we've seen the cold tyres have a massive effect in the past. Going down that downhill section, it will be like slalom skiing, truly.
Oh, it will. That first lap, it's going to be very, very hairy.
There'll be slowdowns galore.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be. So yeah, I expect a big one.
We expect some carnage, but as sorry, Adam, go on.
I was just going to run you through the cars eligible for the
Oh,
reverse
sorry,
grid.
yes.
Yeah, but carry on, finish your point.
No, so we expect some carnage, and that'll be
Yeah.
great for everyone who's watching on YouTube tonight.
Well, then let's have a look at the cars eligible. Then cars 15 to 26, and they are James Nash, Laura Bond, Jay Wright, John Roberts, Julian Janowski, Stelian Chepelewski, Russell Laidler, Ellis Stevens, Steve Richardson, Eckhard von Glan, Ashley Blake Hood, and Pete Newman. Which one of those is going to be on pole position for the final race, Alex?
Well, Alex, we have to think about Chepelewski as well down there. He's had an awful meeting so far, only 20th in that race, and maybe a good draw here. You know, he could get a chance of earning some of those all-important showdown points.
Yeah, absolutely. If he could get a reasonable sort of top 5 or maybe even a podium place in this final race, then it won't seem all that bad. Right, let's do the rolls. 3 test rolls as first. 21st up first, and then it's 17th, followed by 18th. So we are going to get 19th.
Julian Janowski again.
Wow.
Julian Janowski onto pole position.
I'm not
third
sure.
time lucky.
I'm not sure anybody has ever been reversed onto 2 consecutive pole positions, Adam. I don't know if you know that off the top of your head or not, but
I think that's a stat outside of my reach. But I think, I've never seen that before. Second place on the grid, John Roberts. He's inside the top 10 now in the championship, so that's good for him. Third for Jay Wright, 4th for Laura Bond, and then 5th for James Nash. And just before, and then back to you, Andrew, I've just been looking at the results again. We had a situation at Motegi last time out where practically none of the cars that started inside the top 10 finished inside the top 10, and we had exactly the same again. Only one car that started inside the top 10 finished inside the top 10.
2 if you count Kaiser.
Where is Kaiser on here?
Kaiser was 10th.
Yeah, okay, we'll count him as well. So 2 cars finished inside the top 10 that started inside the top 10. Everyone else started lower than 10th on the grid. So that showed you how much of a great race we had at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that was great. And more of the same, I think, very, very shortly. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for race 3. Don't go anywhere. Don't move a muscle. We'll be back with some great racing right after the break.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to BSR TV. We're just 10 seconds away from the start. Sorry, apologies for the technical difficulties, but myself, Andrew Woodhouse, and Adam Bath will go for it anyway. As the green light comes on here for race 3. Overcast conditions. Julian Janowski on pole position. We can hear a bit of contact in the midfield. Julian Janowski from John Roberts. Third place is Jay Wright. In fact, Jay Wright's around in the middle of the straight. There's a big crash at the back, and there's a safety car, and that's probably what Alex Simpson wants.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there were a few cars around to the back. Just for you, those that can't see the pictures.
Which is everyone.
Yeah, which is everyone, and it was definitely towards the back of the pack. So the likes of Pritchard, Plumley, Whitehead. Well, me and Andrew will have a look and try and describe to you what happened.
Oh, right. So Jay Wright was third on the grid, did not get going at all. and he got hit. He got hit by one of the Apex cars. I think it's Thompson. And then Wright sort of gets going again, hits the wall, goes onto the grass, spins around, and then just carnage ensues at him.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now. There's not.
Laidler copped it, and then behind them it was a couple of Volatile Element cars, a couple of Pete Newman cars, one of the Laser Tools cars. I think Graham went hard into the wall. Laidler ended up over the pit lane and resting on the pit wall. That was an interesting place to land.
Who's the Oculus car facing the wrong way? Is that
Jay Wright?
Jay Wright.
Originally, the one with the green mirrors. Yes. How are we doing, Alex?
Hard at work, I think.
Well, yeah, the technical difficulties continue, but we're still trying to get that resolved there. But we are under yellow here at Road Atlanta. The safety car is out.
Well,
we'll pick up Julian Janowski very, very soon. But they're going to actually get a move on at him because I'm not sure where the safety car is. Oh, there's the safety car, actually. They'll have to wait for that. Sure, as they come out of turn 1. Alex, how are we getting on?
Yeah, still struggling. Every time I try and load into the session, it just crashes. I can load into a test session, absolutely no problems, but I can't load into our league session. Just getting crashed out. I've just swapped internet providers very, very quickly, so let's see if it's anything like that.
So, Jay Wright started third place on the. Jay Wright started in third place on the grid. And then he gets away, does not move at all, and then gets clattered into from behind, and then ends up spinning back into the racetrack, collecting Russell Laidler, and then the rest of the pack just piles in, and that is why we're in the safety car.
But if he wasn't paying attention, or maybe he turned the engine off by accident, or something like that, but he definitely went to the right-hand side, hit the wall, speared back into the middle of the track, and then was collected by a couple of other cars. But I think mayhem already ensued at the back of the grid anyway, didn't it?
Pretty much. They were already out of control before they went into Jay Wright. Well, let's have a look at the order then as my whole screen goes blank. It's Julian Janowski leading the race.
John Roberts
in second. There we go. It finally goes on. Laura Bond in third. James Nash in fourth. Steve Walker in fifth. Stefan Hoog in sixth. Paul Smith seventh. Andreas Katz in eighth. Lee Thompson ninth. Sebastian Job in 10th. Rushworth in 13th. Savidovic 15th. David Baker 16th. Chepelevsky 17th. Smolenski 18th. Liz Stevens 19th. And Andrew Whitehead in 20th. And when we get to the line, we'll be starting lap number 3, and then at the end of lap number 3, the safety car should peel into the pit lane, and we will go racing.
Looks like
once again.
We're going to get another lap, I believe, Adam. So
yeah, that's right. So we'll be going on lap number 4.
Well, that's good for us because we've worked some magic, bounced it off some servers, and we're in. We're just loading in now. So
you've told the hamsters to get running again.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and they've done it, and we're back up and running. Alex, apologies to, like I say, everyone there who's watching, well, listening to me and Adam there, doing our best impression of Radio 5 Live for you.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Julian Janowski's missed the... Well, the safety car's just picking him up now. We are on lap number 3, so that's a bit odd how the safety car didn't pick them up on lap number 2.
Yeah, I think it did pick them up, but I think they had to do more than one lap behind the safety car itself. So remember, the caution was thrown on lap 1. They were already past the pit exit, so the safety car couldn't pick them up on lap 1. So pretty much the whole of lap 1 on their own. But Alex,
it means we'll be going on lap number 5 now instead of lap number 4. So
no, we'll be going on 4. It's lap 3 now.
We'll be going at the end of lap number 4.
Oh no, end of lap number 3. The lights are out on the safety car. We're only on lap 3 now. At the moment,
and that's because I'm looking at a replay. There we go. It happened to you at Okayama, and then it happened to me here. So
it did indeed. Alex, that does mean as well that the drivers have got a chance to warm the tyres up as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to help actually, just a little bit. There's a couple of drivers in the comments saying that this is going to be entertaining, and these few laps will just help those rears come up pressure, and shouldn't be so bad through the first sector. And we are back now as well, gents. Live pictures and everything else like that. So yeah, sorry about that. Technical problems. God knows what happened. Just kept failing on my main internet connection. Fortunately, I've got 2 here, so I just switched it over and it connected. How weird's that? Just kept crashing every time.
The pros of running a company that supplies internet.
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's
nothing wrong with that internet connection because the stream's still going, and the stream is on the other one. So you know.
Who knows?
So what's going on?
Who actually knows? We will never find out. Maybe it's that magical source, that magical sort of force that made Simon Field disappear out of nowhere. we don't know. Anyway, lights are in on that Ford Mustang at the front of the field. And of course, speaking of Mustangs and Kias, there'll be the VLN on Saturday. That'll be exciting. And then when the safety car comes in, Julian Janowski will become...
John Robertson's up for this.
He was up for it. He was nearly up the rear of Janowski. Like Edinson Cavani, unfortunately, last night was on the receiving end of. And leading is Janowski. Roberts in second. Third is Laura Bond. Fourth is James Nash, who's shown good pace throughout the weekend. Hasn't really caught a break so far. Steve Walker, Stefan Hu, Paul Smith, Andreas Katz in 8th, Thompson in 9th, Job in 10th. I can hear some contact.
Well, this is Laura Bond's opportunity at Virginia International Raceway. She was so close to getting her first win in the championship, but ended up getting taken out by Adekoba Lopez, and now she's in third once again as they head through the left hand, and she's already closing in on John Roberts. The Engine Oils Direct car is having to defend quite hard on this opening lap of green flag racing here. Laura Bond on the outside, John Roberts on the inside as we head into the 90-degree right-hander.
Yeah, Roberts.
And she'll get the cut back possibly, but just not close enough to get anything done.
Oh, Roberts is going round. Bond's going to go. I don't know if she's going to go through or not. Oh, she unsettled Roberts' car quite badly. Remember, Bond was in a good position in Bathurst and ended up going off down the mountain in a massive way. And she's got a good run on Roberts here. Roberts the out-leader then in the ES Trophy. And down the inside goes Bond, under-braking. Really good braking there. And through into second place goes the Power Max car.
James Nash under pressure was under pressure from Steve Walker and still is under pressure as they head through the final corner. Janowski already 1.2 seconds ahead, and Steve Walker's going to get a good run through the final corner. Nash is going to have to do some defending there. Goes to the middle of the racetrack, parks his car in a very good place, and I think he's going to get the cut back. Steve Walker and Laura Bond and John Roberts going side by side, and Roberts is back
they're hitting each other,
and that's going to
both into the fence.
It's like the parting of the waves for James Nash. He's now through into second.
Not the famous touring car driver Alex, of course. But he's got Steve Walker right up his sphincter now.
Yeah, I think Ellis had a little bit of fun with that early on in the week, but yeah, no, not the touring car driver. Poor James has had that all his life, I think.
Yep, he had it from us on iRacing when he said, "Oh, Andreas Katz with a good move." That's actually on his teammate, so maybe he was let through there.
And Job, Thompson, that is behind, followed by Job actually.
Hoog was quite generous, wasn't he, there? And it actually allowed the two Apex cars to get really close together and really close behind the Swiss driver.
Yeah, Can Walker get it done on Nash? Well, Nash is letting him by, it looks like. Either that or he just hasn't got the speed.
Nash goes to the inside.
Hard on the brakes though, Nash. He's still not giving up, side by side. But I think it is Steve Walker through into second place. And here comes Katz, the two-time champion of the BSRTC, to try and get past James Nash.
The reigning, defending champion as well, Andreas Katz. Trying for a look to the inside. And not quite this time on Nash and Hunt. Defending from Rushworth, you can see there, 7th and 8th place on the track. Alex just behind Thompson, who's made a bit of a mistake through turn 1, I believe.
Yeah, just lost a little bit of ground on his teammate, but should still be able to pick up the draft, although 0.8 of a second. Needs to have a good couple of corners here, hit this tricky left hand, avoid the big curb, get that draft off of his teammate head. He should be okay from Dan Hunt, who's also under a little bit of pressure from Rushworth behind him.
Laura Bond and John Roberts in the pit lane, but fast repairs, and that's going to set them back quite a little bit here.
Steve Walker's right with Janowski.
Yeah, Nash is struggling a little bit here, and Walker trying to go through. He's won a race at Brands Hatch, I think, before in the series, Adam, and he's going for another one here.
Yes, he is, and he's now going to be right with Janowski. In fact, Janowski, I think, might have to concede the lead. 2 by 2 indeed as well. In the background, Nash and Katz side by side.
Oh, Janowski very late on the brakes. He almost ran into Steve Walker there.
Well done, James Nash, though. He managed to put Katz in his place there, and now Katz is under pressure from his teammate as they head through the final corner.
Yep, he well and truly put the cat out on that one, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to get onto the back of Janowski, really, says James, as there's very close Hoog and Seb having a little look in turn 1. Got Hunt also having a little look on Thompson as well. Jamie's just waiting for something to go off, and Svidovic is coming, although he just lost the place to Kraft. Kraft with a cheeky little move up the inside of turn 1.
Well, Steve now knows that this is his time, and he's already pulling out the gap. 0.7 of a second, 0.8 of a second now over Julian Janowski. James Nash actually closing in on the GTM Megacar, but Katz is definitely the man on the move, and he's got his right-hand man, Stefan Hoog at Oculus 360 to help him out, as well as we head into the 90-degree right-hander. Janowski doesn't get a good run through there, and that's now going to mean that James Nash hits him.
Nash hits
the bump and run almost, and I think it's going to allow Katz to get the better of both of them now as they head down the back straight.
Yeah, because we saw, didn't we, Alex, just a moment or two ago, that Nash doesn't really have the straight line speed, and he needs to actually keep. Oh, and look at that! Katz trying to force his way into the queue there. Out of line.
Went well.
Janowski late on the brakes.
Job really late on the brakes as well. Takes Hoog in the background.
And he's going to take Katz as well.
Fantastic job there from Sebastian Job.
Sebastian Job, yes.
And Nash is now still in third, and Katz is now going to be shoved down to 5th position, and now Stefan Hoog's going to be on the offensive or not. He's now under attack from another Apex car, so Apex for the win at the moment.
Only 3 Apex cars in this meeting. No Richard Gore tonight, no Tim Mawson either. Mawson stepped down from full-time driving duties. Thompson round the outside, and that's going to end in tears with Hoog. Thompson just about stopping the car in time.
Yeah, he does, and puts himself under a lot of pressure from Hunt as well. Hunt now having to check back up as well, so Jamie close on him as well.
Off goes Janowski, Alex.
And here comes Nash. Nash through into second.
A lot of people wide there through that turn. I hope has everybody survived? I've got a lot of smoke.
It looks
in the
like
background.
everyone has. I think that was just someone kick. I think that's probably Janowski's gravel that he kicked up.
I think it was just the dirt from the outside.
So James Nash through into second, Job third, Katz fourth, Janowski now 5th, Hoog now 6th, Hunt 7th, Rushworth 8th, Kraft in 9th, and Lee Thompson rounds out the top 10.
Alex, I wonder if Nash is going to let through Job here.
He might do. Yeah, it looks like he's not going to defend it. Just moves to the right, so Job can.
But he needs to be careful because Katz is going to take the opportunity if he gives him it. You want some? He'll give it to you. And is he going to make it? Katz squeezes Nash, and Nash pushes Katz off the track.
Wow.
Welcome to the BSRTC, James Nash. He hasn't been racing iRacing for 3 years, but this is his first ever meeting in this series, and he's already
I think Katz will be doing
right at home.
I think Katz will be doing a Fernando Alonso going, who is this guy?
Who's the new guy? This new guy, he hit me, he's not giving me any space. And Katz was... Oh, I'll tell you what, he nearly run out of space. It's Kraft and Janowski side by side.
Svidovic as well just moved his way up past Thompson. I think Thompson lost a couple of places in that lap as well.
Rushworth's disappearing, blinking on and off all the time.
On his 3G connection there.
Katz, I thought he was going into the wall there, just about gets it chipped up. Good job, it's his teammate that's behind him.
Look at Baker.
Look at that battle back there, that is crazy. There's smoke everywhere.
Baker weaving all over the track in front of your own Kaiser, Adam.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out who to focus on, really.
Everything.
Yeah, David
Where's
Baker 12th, Lee Thompson 11th, and now Baker's now going to try and get past Lee Thompson as they head down the back straight. So Thompson, it was looking good for him a few laps ago, but it's not looking good now.
Keep an eye on Kraft and Janowski,
and keep an eye on Katz and Nash. It looks like
Katz has outbraked himself massively.
Oh, he's off. He's feeling the
Nash
pressure.
outbraked himself. He followed him, and Hoog's going to go through on the pair of them. And there's contact behind. Daniel Kraft's gone off into the gravel.
There's Janowski and Rushworth. Janowski and Rushworth, and they're going to come back on. Be careful.
Rushworth hits Kaiser, and Kraft has hit Rushworth into the fence. He's bounced back onto the track. Hopefully, no one will hit him. Doesn't look like it.
No, everyone's managed to carry on quite safely. So well done, Rushworth, for locking it down and not going back into the racetrack. He resumes in 23rd position. So it all started from Katz outbreaking himself.
Yeah, he did. And James Nash, as we so often say, you know, it's so easy to follow the car in front when they do make a mistake. You end up having your own accident. Nash managed to just about keep his wits about him, but he was overtaken by Hoog and by Daniel Hunt. Meanwhile, at the front, Alex, Steve Walker, Sebastian Job, 1 second difference.
Yeah, Job closing up very, very quickly. Lap time difference, 1.1 second that last lap, so it's only going to be a matter of time before Job is on to Walker, so we'll have a battle for first. This epic battle further back, though we can't take our eyes off it right now.
Yeah, these guys are 2 seconds a lap quicker than they were in the previous race as well,
Hunt versus Hoog.
Yeah.
And Hunt is going to try and get back onto the inside. That is what he wants to do, and just a little bit of touch there. That wasn't the dreaded quarter panel incident, however, it very nearly was. Hoog still remains in 3rd place. We've got 4 laps to go in the final race of the evening
Baker
here.
getting very wide. He's run extremely wide. Thompson's going to get him by the time he recovers back onto the straight.
Yep.
Savidovic is out of control and trying to get past Katz.
Yeah, the back end sliding around. And Wojciech Savidovic, he likes the car to do that. Tell you what, David Baker, he's still not massively. He's still got a chance of that 3rd podium out of 3 races. It's going to be unlikely now, but you never quite know.
He's made a mistake. He's going to go through the gravel and he's going to come back on in front of Nash, who I think is going to take the position with open arms. They're both side by side. They're rubbing door handle to door handle there as they head into the right-hander. And
if he turns
Nash
in, he's going to find an Oculus car there.
And it's Andreas Katz. These two have got a history, and down the inside goes Katz. And Nash nearly does the quarter panel to him.
Oh, and he nearly got Savidovic as well.
So Nash loses 2 places there, down to 7th place. Katz is now through into 5th. However, it's side by side for the lead. Steve Walker and Sebastian Job. That didn't take long for Job to close in on the volatile element car, and Sebastian Job takes the lead into the chicane with 3 and a bit laps to go.
Sensible driving from Walker, isn't it, Alex? He didn't want to fight that too hard. He knows that 2nd is pretty damn good at this point for his team. Yeah,
exactly. He's still got a lot of points for volatile out there, so it makes perfect sense to keep it on the straight and narrow there.
Yep.
There's no point in fighting Job. He's 1 second lap faster. It's going to happen, I think.
Baker and Smith also, they're looking pretty good for that team too. Looks like someone's dropped down. Has someone dropped down the order there quite dramatically? No, it doesn't look like it. Just my eyes deceiving me. I think if the people who sort of crashed earlier on got in a bit of bother. Laura Bond 27th, Rushworth 26th, Roberts 28th. So not good for them today at all.
Savidovic now closing in on Katz. The Oculus 360 car and the Engineers Direct car pretty close. Lap times last time around. Katz was 1/10 of a second quicker. Savidovic seems to have got a better run on this lap as they head onto the back straight. It's all about who gets the better run. Savidovic and Katz both get a pretty reasonable exit out of the right-hander as they head now down the back straight. It's all about the slipstream though.
Hunt might be under a lot of pressure here, Adam, into the chicane. And we'll see what happens here as they go through the right-hand kink and drop dramatically down, quite steep here, into this braking area. Katz having a look. Hunt has measured it. A little bit deep though. And in fact, he might be in a bit of trouble. Into this right-hander and there's contact. And Savidovic almost running into the back of those guys too.
Hunt was very lucky.
Very wide.
Savidovic going to try and get past Katz. Here he comes down the inside into the first corner. How close was that? And Hunt's going wide
Hunt's
again.
lost it.
His tyres might have given up, but I don't know because it's overcast conditions.
He's got
both of them through.
Got bags of understeer in that car, Adam.
So it is Katz through into 4th, Savidovic up into 5th, Hunt to 6th, and now it's James Nash who's going to try and get past him.
Yeah, Hunt's in trouble, Baker's there as well, and also Thompson. It just shows, Alex, doesn't it, how great the racing can be when you've got a tight technical track like this, which does punish the drivers if they go off, but it's got that one great, crucial overtaking opportunity, which makes it a terrific race.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like I say, the difference in setups does make a difference. You can see that some drivers definitely a little bit quicker in a straight line. Baker actually looks like he might be lining up Nash for an overtake this time. Nash, of course, does have the slipstream of Hunt in front, will that be enough to keep him at bay?
And Hunt's got the slipstream a little bit from Savidovic. And Savidovic is going to have a look at Katz maybe into the chicane as well. They keep an eye on all of it at the same time. Savidovic pulling out just to let Katz know that he's there. Baker, Nash definitely knows that Baker's there. But Nash was almost frightened there off the road a bit by Baker. It's a good move by the Season 7 champion. If he can go on the inside here, it's going to be very tight through this final right-hander. But David Baker does it beautifully.
Baker through into 7th, Nash down to 8th, and now Lee Thompson could get another position from his new teammate. We're on the final lap of the race, and Savidovic is all over Katz and nearly turns the champion around. Wow, that is very close as they head over the top of the hill into turn 2. Savidovic is going to try and get the cut back on him through this S's section. He hits him, he hits him, and that is really close.
Yeah, nudgy. And
Hunt wants a piece of back though, his tyres have recovered, he's looking racy in this final lap. He wants to see if he can get a couple of places, I think.
Savidovic looks really aggressive, Alex, in the closing stages. He's really trying to get those extra positions.
Yeah, we talked about the podiums earlier on. This is another 5th place as it stands right now. They can't see that he's going to get a podium, to be honest. There's 2 Oculus cars in front of him right now, but might get a 4th. Good for the team, not so great for himself.
Great. It'll be great for the team.
Here we go then, down the back straight. Savidovic in the slipstream. Is it going to start working for him? It starts working now. Down to the chicane for the final time. Katz covers the line. Savidovic going to the outside line. Meanwhile, Savidovic has breaking himself. And the checker flag's in the air for Job.
Yeah, through the final corner. This victory for Apex Racing TV and Sebastian Job from 11th on the grid.
Katz or Hunt? No, Katz or Hunt. It is Daniel Hunt who comes across the line in front of Andreas Katz.
On the grass.
By 12 1,000ths of a second.
Phenomenal race once again, and kudos to those guys who gave us some kind of show out there. Alex, my voice is going, but what an excellent performance by Job that time.
Yeah, he got through the traffic very quickly, and just having a little watch of this replay of Hunt and Katz coming across the line. Baker weren't too far from that as well. They all just dived off the track, didn't they, trying to carry as much speed there. Sod where they go across the line, doesn't matter at that point. But yeah, no. So what a great race actually. That was the best of all of them tonight. If I'm honest, I really enjoyed. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'm sorry, it looks like nobody got a look in from about 12th or 13th place down, how hectic that pack was, apart from if you were in it at the start. Lots of drivers without any airtime out there, so I do apologise for that. But
some races.
Yeah, what a great race.
Yeah.
Some races just do that, Adam, don't they? You know, they're so good at the front that nobody gets a look at you. Sort of sometimes complain when the leader doesn't get shown, but in this case, you know, it was all about that battle for third.
Well, it's always great to see battles up at the front of the pack, and once again, we always see it in the BSRTC. Twin Wing Motegi was sort of the same there. We did have some battles further down the pack, and that provided some great racing. Well, let's have a look at the results. Joe won with Walker second, Hugan third, with Daniel Hunt in fourth, Andreas Katz just in fifth, and David Baker in sixth. James Nash, fantastic job from him, sticking it to the guys at the front in seventh. Wojciech Savidovic in eighth, Lee Thompson in ninth, and Stelin Chepelewski rounds out the top 10. 11th was Paul Smith with Sharon Kaiser in 12th. 13th was Andrew Whitehead. 14th, Alex Malensky. 15th, Pete Newman. 16th, Simon Field. 17th, Robert Graham. 18th, Daniel Kraft. Ellis Stevens in 19th. 20th, Julian Janowski. Janowski started on the pole twice, and he ended up finishing in 19th after starting on the pole in race 2, and 20th after starting on the pole in race 3. 21st was Steve Hefford, Damien Harrison in 22nd, Steve Richardson 23rd, Laura Bond 24th. Laura Bond was going for the lead once again. The race just didn't seem to go away. 25th, Jamie Rushworth involved in contact with Daniel Kraft. Eckhart von Glan 26th, John Roberts 27th, and in the cars one or more laps down, Russell Layler 28th, Robert Plumley 29th, 30th Jay Wright, 31st Stephen Burke, 32nd Ashley Blake Hood, 33rd William Pritchard, and then Dan Blake didn't even take the start, I don't think. So
looks like Robert Plumley was a disconnection, and I think that's why he was one lap down there.
Yeah, he didn't manage to. No, that was the last race, wasn't it? That he didn't manage to start. So I don't know if he's been having some woes with his connection this week as well. But yeah. not good for Plumley. Usually see him floating in and around the top 15 week in, week out. So sure he'll bounce back, no doubt.
Well, credit to Road Atlanta, 3 fantastic races, and I didn't really expect. Well, personally, I didn't expect it to have 3 fantastic races. So, and I didn't think it could beat Twin Ring Motegi, but it did a fantastic job. And Savidovic in race 1, Smolenski race 2, and Jobin race 3.
Yeah, and just the thing about Plumley as well, he's got a YouTube channel. He streams a lot of his races, so go over there and check those out. 2, right. I'm exhausted.
Well, Silverstone next week.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to that. Silverstone the week before the British Grand Prix as well, and that is going to be great.
On the historic layout, so back to where it all began, really, for us in Season 6.
And as well, Thursday night, Adam, according to the weather forecast, temperatures of 30 degrees nearly, so it would be difficult for some of the drivers out there, Alex, because, as you know, in the heat, it's not always easy driving these cars.
No, not at all. It's going to push. It's going to push a few drivers. I'm sure they're going to struggle. So yeah, we'll see.
Going into Stowe and Abbey, I remember back in Season 6, Ashley Sutton and Jamie Rushworth and Wojciech Savidovic going 3 wide, going through the flat-out Abbey left-hander into bridge, and some great moments for the championship at this racetrack. And once again, 3 more races coming up there, and it's. I remember
Ellie Stevens going feral in Season 6 as well at Silverstone,
and of course it's 6-car teams. So
right, yeah, one of us might. Well, you might have to get involved, Adam, because I think I'm deregistered now.
6-car teams, is that? I'm trying to work out my rules here. 6-car teams is when we have. It's not an endurance race, is it?
No, it's 6 cars can take part, but only the first 4 count. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, I think so.
First 4. Right.
Yeah, the next endurance race, by the way, is at the beginning, mid-August at Spa.
We'll only have 4 cars out there, won't we? So there's the potential for, as in Apex will, so there's the potential for another couple of drivers to jump in, some reserves as well. So
if Tim decides to have a go as well.
Well, I think if Tim fancies having a little blast, you'll jump in with him, will you, Adam?
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be better than Donington.
You were good at Donington, that was good.
Well, if anyone else wants to have a blast,
I think it was all overshadowed, Andrew, by what happened in race 1.
Yeah, just give me a holler anyway on Facebook or something like that, and we'll try and get you drafted in as a reserve for the Apex team. So, sorry, gents. Anyone you want to have a quick word with? Let's drag them down. We haven't done interviews for a couple of weeks. Woody, I know your voice is going, so we'll hand it over to Adam. Adam, anyone you want to speak to?
Let me have a look.
No Apex guys. I'll kick them later.
Blast, I wanted to have a word with James Nash. Who have we got? I would have a word with Andreas Katz, but... Well,
his fan club's all there, so...
Yeah, okay,
maybe it won't be a bad idea.
The Cats, yeah?
Yeah, Andreas Katz. Andreas Katz joins us in the commentary box. It looked like you were having a bit of a tough race 3 there, having to battle quite a few of the Apex racing cars there.
Yes, you can call it a tough race, but it was nice. I missed the chicane and it was hard driving against James Nash.
Yeah, James Nash, he didn't let you have it all your own way. Did you had quite a few battles going into the chicane and outbraking yourself there, so it was a pretty tough race 3.
Yeah, he really made me nervous, so I missed the chicane even, and but it was still nice, but I'm a little bit bad today, so it was 8th, 5th, and I lost a lot of points today.
Silverstone next week, the historic layout. Do you like that racetrack, and how are you going to set the car up for that?
I think I did the world record there 2 seasons ago. I'm not sure, but I think so. So it should be better than this one. I don't like Road Atlanta, as you could see today.
Well, thanks for joining us in the commentary box, Andreas, and thanks for putting on a good show. We'll see you at Silverstone next week.
Okay, see you. Bye.
It was still a pretty solid meeting for Katz, wasn't it, Alex? Despite his dislike for the circuit.
Yeah, exactly.
And James Nash.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can put that down as a bad week. I mean, still clocked up 3 good results there, to be honest, and points on the board. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it's good for Oculus, I guess, actually. But if we go back to the points we made earlier on, he would have wanted the more, would have wanted some podiums out of that. So,
Well, I've just had a look at the points now. I think these are the updated ones. Savidovic now leads by 400 points over Andreas Katz. Chepelevsky only 50 or so points behind Katz, even though Chepelevsky had a pretty dire evening as far as his evenings go. Baker, though, up into 4th place, past Jamie Rushworth, and Smolensky up in 6th. So, yeah, just one change in the top 10.
Yeah.
Is Nash about, Alex?
Let's have a look. He's not on Mumble. In fact, he's jumped off of the Apex TeamSpeak as well, so I can't even go and hijack him from in there.
Ew.
So yeah, no, not at the moment.
We'll have to try and get some of the Apex guys over to try and over to Mumble to try so we can get them in the server more often. Commentary box. Anybody? Do you reckon, Adam?
Yeah, do you want to have a little? Maybe I was thinking of maybe having a chat with Walker. He had a pretty reasonable race that last one.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite hold on. We haven't spoke to Steve for some time. I haven't checked to see if Steve's in the server, mind you. He is. Yeah, you want to have a quick chat with Walker?
Yeah, okay. Steve Walker joins us in the commentary box now. You had the lead for a brief moment, however, I don't think you could have stopped Sebastian Job getting to you in race 3.
Yeah, it's just too quick as Job. I think it was Julian and Nash I was leaving behind, got about a 5-second gap. But yeah, couldn't stop the Job, too fast.
Yeah, he wasn't he? He was excellent in that race, but you must be really happy with the second place, mate. It's been a while since you had such a good result.
Yeah, had pretty bad 7 rounds, to be honest. And obviously it's so competitive out there, it's very difficult to get on the podium, so I'm really glad I got back on there for the team as well as myself. So yeah, good week for Volatile Element.
Just a quick one as well, Alex, on the side is Jay Wright said his car wouldn't go into gear, so that was why that happened at the start of that race. Sorry, Steve, you were saying about... Yeah, we saw you getting shoved off into the wall in race 2. Take us through that.
Yeah, I think it was Paul and Andrew Whitehead ahead of me. They were going too wide into turn 1. Then Dan Blake put a nice move onto me into turn 1, just behind them. Meanwhile, Andrew and Paul went wide at turn 1 and came back on next to Dan and me. So it was practically 4 wide from what I saw. So I tried to back out of it, thinking it's not going to work, but then it was too late and just a racing incident, really.
Just looking at the points actually for the team, Steve, you guys obviously sat in 3rd place at the moment, a couple hundred points behind GT Omega if these are up-to-date standings right now. Of course, top 3 is where it's all at. I mean, Power Max not too far behind, Pete Newman not too far behind as well. It's not going to be easy, is it, from here? I mean, there's a long way left to go this season, and 2nd through to 5th is ridiculously close at the minute.
I don't think we're even halfway through this season, so there's a lot to play for. But I think the all important thing is being in the top 3 near the end. From what I understand, the team's points get reset to 0 regardless of podiums, so you don't get any showdown points.
Yep.
So as long as we stay in this position or get better, then we've got a good chance. I think today we gained on EOD, so hopefully we can continue doing that.
Silverstone historic next week. Do you think you can get the same consistent race results there and close in on Engine Oils Direct even more?
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's all about finishing. If we get 12 finishes for the 4 drivers over the night, then we should be there or thereabouts. But I think personally, I need to sort out my qualifying to get the pace out of the car. Then yeah, keep it clean, and the rest should sort itself out.
Right, thanks, Steve. All the best to Silverstone, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Yeah, just having a look at the points. That is the updated standings as well. So it is getting pretty close in there. You know, Oculus not too far behind 6th place. You think they've got such a strong team as well, and they're only in 6th place, but they're only. I mean, this is going to sound like quite a lot. They're 1,200 points behind, but that's not really a great deal when you think of like how far we are in this. And how quickly it can shift. I mean, you can be talking 300-400 points gain for the teams in one night. So, you know, and I have to say, I wouldn't. Once Richard scores back in the Apex crew as well, that could be a pretty tasty 4-car team. They might have a late charge. Still 60 odd races left to go. You know,
a lot of points available.
I think. I hate to rule Laser Tools out, but I think at this point they're 2,500 behind Apex as well. So I think them, obviously OGR we know not really taking part now, and then I like to say Team Carnage are way down there. So those three pretty much out of any shot. But I would still say any of the top 7 could still finish inside the top 3. I'd be surprised to see EOD out of it at the end, being how many points they've picked up already, but and obviously they've got strong reserves as well. So I really think we're going to be, who knows where that's going to go. Actually, I think the teams thing, we're going to have to pay a bit more attention to the teams championship, who wins each week and things like that, because I think that's going to become really, really exciting towards the end of the season, especially with how much prize money is up for grabs in that one.
No, I agree. And Adam, we're going to be right through to December with this one. I've got a feeling it's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, and I think the racetracks that we're going to go to are going to even throw even more variables into it, especially when we get to Leader's Choice. I also hear that the organisers are thinking of throwing a few more ovals into it. Who knows, we could even be on the high banks of Daytona or Talladega, and who knows what that could throw up. So the racetracks will play their part as well. And we're only at the 1/3 points of the season. Still a long, long way to go.
Yep, and I think that's about it for tonight here on BSR TV. So thanks very much for joining us here on YouTube. It's been great to have you along with us. From Andrew Woodhouse, Alex Simpson and Adam Bath, we will see you next week for more action from the Engine Oil Direct Pro Series. We'll see you then.